Welcome to another video of what I watched in the month of June. So let's get started. First, what I watched is Civil War. Civil War is a war movie that's not actually a war movie. It's basically about a team of military and embedded journalists travel across the dystopian future war to reach DC before rebel fractions descend upon the White House. I've said before that I'm not good with war movies. I'm not a fan of war films or anything because they're not my interest. But I find this one interesting because we don't follow soldiers fighting or battling, and instead we follow the lives of journalists. That is an interesting concept. The protagonists are fine but not interesting. I would love to learn more from them and get to know them. I think I learned more about Kaylee Spacey's character. Sorry if I'm butchering her name. But overall fine characters, but no, not really interesting. The story is fine, subtle, and not really interesting either. There isn't any interesting stuff or elements to tell since we follow journalists going through obstacles of a dystopian modern war. I think those were the only fun and probably entertaining parts of the movie, is where they encounter obstacles and encounter danger. The movie was thrilling. It was adventurous, and I loved the thrilling level it was. I love the visuals. The cinematography looks really good shots, and really good music choices in here. Not annoying or terrible. They're not annoying or terrible music choices. They're not 80s. They're basically like really good music choices. Good, decent acting. I really find the acting fine. Nothing wrong with it. I really enjoyed this movie. It was decent. It was fine. It was a fine watch, and I would give this movie a 6 out of 10. Next I watched is The Strangers Chapter 1, and it was a terrible mess. I already talked about it on my channel. You can go watch it. The story is terrible, it's boring, it's lame, there's nothing new or interesting about this movie. The characters are lame and dumb and weak. Everyone else was bad. The acting is bad. The forest looks fine. The setting looks fine. The strangers are not scary. They look bad. They look weak. Yeah, it was a disaster. This movie was a pretty huge disaster. I don't recommend it. I don't know why it's made. I don't know who decided to make this, but I have no faith in the next two movies. I hope they improve something somehow or some way. This movie has no sense of fear, no sense of thrill. It's not scary. It's so lame. It's so bad at scaring people. And it feels like it's probably written by AI. I give this movie 2 out of 10. I don't know how you come with the movie this terrible in 2024. I don't recommend it. Then I watched Inside Out. The first Inside Out. I decided to watch it because I was bored and, just wanted to give it a try and get ready for the second movie if I ever thought I was gonna watch it or not. It was really fine. It was really creative and vengeful back to when it was released. I really like it so far. It's fine. I mean, decent movie with a decent message, and growing up and a coming of age story really good. I understand why Sadness is the way she is, because Riley can't be happy for the rest of her life, and being sad and other emotions is what could help us get through our sad state, and problems, including everyone in our life, can help us. That's what I learned about the movie. And it's a really good message to teach probably young viewers. And overall, it's fine. I give this a 6 out of 10. Next I watch is Horton Hears a Who. Horton Hears a Who is a movie that I enjoyed as a kid because of its charm and its quirkiness. I still enjoy that till this day. The story is basically an elephant trying to get a speck in a trapula to a safe spot, encountering obstacles. The story is fine. I mean, it's not really entertaining. It's not really that fun. I mean, there are fun moments in here. There's obstacles, of course, and they're fun. It's a kid-fitting story. I have no problem with it. It's pretty basic storytelling. I think Horton facing obstacles is probably like the most entertaining fun parts of this movie. They were charming, entertaining, and enjoyable. There's really a lot of random humor that made me laugh. The animation looks old. It's nothing modern Disney or Pixar animation. It doesn't look like a $200 million investment, but it looks good. It looks old and classic and fine. This movie is 16 years old. It was released in 2008, so this is a very old and iconic film, I would say. The voice casting is pretty good. Jim Carrey is great. I think he carried this whole movie. The characters are classic and funny. The mayor is pretty funny. He has like 100 kids and one boy. That's really crazy. Overall, I consider this movie as a underrated gem. It's a classic and a well adaptation of Dr. Seuss' creative mind and story than what we see today. I give this movie a 6 out of 10. And then I watched Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. I didn't want to watch this movie because it looked weird from its trailers and it looked like a joke and it looked like a mess. 3 minutes into this movie, I was cringing and questioning what am I watching. Overall, the movie was mid and entertaining. I really liked the visual effects and CGI in this movie. The monsters look great and their powers and abilities look great. I was not a fan of Kong's facial expressions. They looked weird and annoying. I also didn't like the human characters. They were useless and forgettable and annoying. Brian Tyree Henry's character was so annoying, I couldn't stand him. I was telling him to shut up for most of the time. I just couldn't stand his character. His character is really, really annoying. Like, why would you have a character like that in this movie? It would be better if this movie was just about the monsters and not no humans anywhere. Like, that would be a good recipe for a good Monsterverse movie. And the music choices in here were so lame and annoying. It became my biggest ick in movies that 80s music is in every movie. That's my biggest ick. I really prefer if they just had their own original score. That would have been perfect, but I don't know. I hated the music choices in here. Don't ever include 80s music in a movie like this ever again. I like the cinematic shots of this movie. There were really good shots and visuals. I think Adam Wingard did a really good job in this movie. The story was mid and solid. I liked the antagonist. They were evil and menacing. And there were also good battles in here, like really good combat skills. This is a pretty mid and solid movie overall. It's very cheesy and doesn't take itself seriously. This is pretty much a Marvel movie. I like this film, but it was not funny or charming because it looked like it was trying to be, but it didn't go anywhere there. I give this movie a 4 out of 10. Then finally I watched Inside Out 2. I made a review. It will be up anytime. I think it was a decent Pixar sequel. The movie still shows more interesting stuff. It was new and innovative, pretty much like the first film. It teaches a new message that can be valuable in life learning for young viewers. These emotions were fine. Everyone else in this movie was fine. The teammates were pretty good characters. Nostalgia was a complete nothing in this movie. The story was fine. It kept my eyes on screen the whole time. The color and animation feels pretty good to watch. Overall, I had a pretty good time with this movie. It is the best Pixar sequel since Finding Dory or Monsters University. I still don't have faith in them in Pixar because they might make more sequels instead of original storytelling movies. If they do, then please make more room for original stories and make great sequels like Inside Out 2 and Monsters University. I give this movie a 7 out of 10. That's it for what I watched in the month of June. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.